Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
The case moves forward against one of two people accused of dumping a man's body in the Rock River in downtown Rockford. We'll share the start date for the trial in a murder you might remember. Illinois leaders bring a high-tech message to Belvidere. They focus on efforts to keep people living in hard-to-reach areas connected. And a Rockford Middle School kicks off the academic year with cheers. Administrators hope the one-day welcome walk inspires positivity for months. Good evening, I'm Eric Wilson. Mimi is off tonight. Police find two people dead during a welfare check in Ogle County. Around 9 this morning, Oregon officers made that welfare check at a home near Franklin and Depot Streets. They forced their way into the home and found Philip and Becky Basson dead. Investigators are waiting for blood tests to come back. Police say there is no risk to the public. A Loves Park man is arrested after police say they found a stolen weapon. Yesterday, Rockford officers conducted a search warrant at Michael Gregory's home. He was wanted on an outstanding arrest warrant. Police took Gregory into custody and searched the place. They say they found a stolen gun and ammunition. Gregory is charged with being an armed habitual criminal and for possession of a stolen firearm. Investigators released the name of the man killed in an early morning motorcycle crash in Rockford. This happened on Highcrest Road near Spring Creek. Police say 31-year-old Jordan Bray was the only person on the bike. He slammed into a tree. Bray died in the hospital. Rockford police are still looking into what caused the crash. Two men are arrested after breaking into a local auto parts shop. Around midnight yesterday, Rockford police responded to a burglary alarm at LKQ Auto Parts on Harrison Avenue. Police realized Joseph Pamilia and John Redwine were still on the property. Officers set up a perimeter. A canine searched the business. Both men were found and taken to the county jail. Officers say they also recovered burglary tools and various stolen parts. The pair are charged with criminal trespass and burglary. A Rockford man set to stand trial for a murder in April of last year. Brendan Gaston's accused of killing Dennis Shaddy and dismembering his corpse. Gaston faces charges of first-degree murder and hiding a corpse. Someone found Dennis Shaddy's body wrapped in a tarp near Rockford's Fordham Dam on April 12th of 2022. According to a criminal complaint, Gaston confessed to the crime to another inmate at Eau Claire County's jail. Another suspect, Tracy Clark, is also accused in connection to Shaddy's death. She was set to be tried March 4th this year. That's been postponed. A new date hasn't been announced. Gaston's trial is set to begin September 30th next year. A local healthcare organization offers free training to save lives. August 31st is International Overdose Awareness Day, and Crusader Community Health is hosting training on how to use Narcan. That medication is used to reverse an opioid overdose. Crusader's Director of Pharmacy Services says Narcan is a great tool for anyone to have.
Really, opioid overdose can happen to anybody. Addiction can happen to anybody. There's no one set person that it's most common in. Really, it just doesn't discriminate, and we need to make sure that we have tools on hand to save lives.
Narcan is available at Crusader's 5 main sites. Any patient can receive between 1 and 3 kits. An Illinois internet company invites government officials to a demonstration of their new broadband internet. U.S. Cellular showcased its wireless speeds and connectivity to bridge the divide many rural communities have when gaining internet access. Governor JB Pritzker and several other high-ranking state and local officials were there. U.S. Cellular gave a tour of a cell site in Belvidere before moving to Washington Academy for a live demonstration of the company's 5G technology. The CEO says it's no longer an option to be connected to the internet.
If you're going to make sure that everyone is connected, you have to do two things, right? You have to make sure that you have infrastructure, so you're able to connect the home, connect the business. That's what we demonstrated today. And the other side of the equation, it has to be affordable. And so there are programs that are in place. The Affordable Connectivity Program is one that makes it more affordable for people to afford that connection. Put those two things together, that bridges the digital divide.
The company says with U.S. Cellular's new 5G technology, homes in rural areas will be able to stream more than 40 videos all at once in HD and not see a decrease in speeds. Elected officials make their way to Rockford to support small businesses. The U.S. Small Business Administrator joined Congressman Eric Sorensen to visit 6 local businesses. The pair toured Art Deli on East State Street, TNT Funnel Cakes, and several other places. A roundtable was held to highlight the work done by small businesses and support them. Art Deli's owner says even established businesses need support to continue growing.
It means a lot, it means that we are standing out in the community, that, we are a business leader of the area, and that's humbling, but also, exciting. But as we grow, we do always need help. So it is nice having, the congressman and SBA director coming in to, give advice or see what we do need for help.
Jared Hennis, who you just heard there, hopes the roundtable helps more entrepreneurs kickstart their dreams. A local middle school welcomes students back to class. Kennedy invited parents, community members, and leaders to cheer students into the 2023-24 school year. It took place at the front walk of the school. Administrators called the event the Wildcats Welcome Back Walk. The principal says it's all about creating a positive school environment.
I think that it starts out the students with being excited for coming every day and knowing that there's a place that they belong and that there's adults that they can trust and really want them to do well.
Rockford Public School District officially started the school year today. Republicans launched criticism at the federal government's response to natural disasters, but the Biden administration defends its efforts and doubles down on helping those in need.
Lots of sunshine for our last day of August. Comfortable too, but as we look towards September, those temperatures, they are expected to climb. A look at how far we get this holiday weekend coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Lahaina's burned out streets are the latest battleground for Democrats and Republicans. Some GOP lawmakers accuse the Biden administration of not responding to the emergency adequately. Washington correspondent Alexandra Limon explains how the White House is reacting.
The White House says it did respond immediately and appropriately to the Maui wildfires. Republicans are scrutinizing the president's recent responses to natural disasters.
If he responds to it like he did in Hawaii, we might be in trouble.
Republicans claim the Biden administration's response to Maui's deadly wildfires was too slow, and House Oversight Chairman James Comer says his committee will investigate the government's decisions. But Hawaii Congresswoman Jill Takuda says the issue shouldn't be politicized.
We need to focus all this concern that we have across the aisle from both Democrats and Republicans and focus in on helping the real people here on Maui.
And the White House defends its response.
As soon as the governor in Hawaii, Josh Green, and he has said this himself, requested a major disaster declaration, the president signed it.
What the federal government does is we come in and we support their efforts, and that's exactly what we did.
President Biden said he didn't immediately visit Maui because he didn't want to get in the way of the recovery efforts, but was helping behind the scenes.
And you've heard from the governor, you've heard from the 2 senators who have lifted up and said how quickly this president responded.
And the president says his administration isn't done helping.
I'm announcing that $95 million from the bipartisan infrastructure law is on the way to Hawaii to harden the ground power, harden the grid.
And another way that people can get help from the government is by applying for unemployment if they lost their jobs because of the wildfires. In Washington, Alexandra Limon.
Tomorrow is the meteorological start of fall, but the weather this weekend will feel much more like the middle of summer. Coming up, Candace tells us about the dry holiday forecast that has some people wishing for rain.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, our latest drought monitor coming out from the National Drought Mitigation Center continues to show those dry conditions across northern Illinois, actually throughout the state. However, the abnormally dry conditions, there was some improvement from last week to this week. Moderate drought conditions have pretty much stayed the same. Same with severe drought. We are dealing with moderate drought conditions over much of north and north central Illinois and then even west central Illinois. Unfortunately, the same can cannot be said here when you go further north of the state line in Wisconsin. Not a lot of change in the abnormally dry conditions. 97% almost of the entire state of Wisconsin considered abnormally dry, but there was a decrease in moderate drought conditions. However, an increase in severe drought conditions. I should say an increase in both moderate, severe drought as well as extreme drought conditions, as they have not seen as much rainfall as we have had over the last several weeks here to the north of us. Unfortunately, this dry pattern is something that is really going to be sticking around. I wish I could say that we are expecting some rainfall in the short term, but we're not, and we have this high pressure system to kind of thank for that. What we're looking at is the difference in pressure at sea level. So blue is high pressure, red is low pressure, and you can see just how expansive that high pressure ridge is across much of the country. So this keeps us really dry. However, that begins to break down as this low works a little closer to us, so those pressures will begin to fall into early next week. With that, that could bring us a chance for some rainfall, but really not until maybe next Wednesday or Thursday. Up until then, we are going to stay dry. So we really start the beginning here of September in a deficit, and while we may have an opportunity for some rain to come up, it looks like those temperatures could actually stay above average. 78 right now in Freeport, 76 here in Rockford, 75 in Poplar Grove, and 78 our current temperature in Sterling. Our weather watcher Terry down in Genoa has 78 degrees, very comfortable. Dew point sits at 55 and a light easterly wind. Ben in South Beloit also has a 55-degree dew point temperature, 78 the actual air temperature, and that dry air mass is going to play a bit of a role in how comfortable, so to speak, we feel going into the weekend. Lots of sunshine out there with that breeze coming in from the east and southeast. As we take a live look with our SkyTrack camera out in Freeport, we are down to 51 degrees for tonight, so another cool night. Back up to 85 though, so we are going to warm quickly as that wind direction begins to turn a little more to the south. So it'll be a chilly start, but a very warm afternoon, and those Friday night football games, those will be perfect out there. Let's look into the beginning of September, which is the start of meteorological fall, the 3-month period from September, October to November. Average high right at 80 degrees at the beginning of the month, but we typically see our biggest drop in that average high temperature over that 3-month span. Once we get to the end of November, average high temperature in the 40s. Now the 40s is what we woke up to this morning, and it'll be a cool another couple nights, and that'll carry over into the weekend. So we've got the heat here, 90 degrees Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and likely Tuesday of next week. But as I mentioned, those dew point temperatures, they will stay down, so that does help take the edge off a little bit of some of that heat. We're also going to have a bit of a breeze. Again, that'll carry over into the weekend. Clear skies stay with us throughout the afternoon on Friday. The only thing we may see going into Saturday, just a little more cloud cover as a result of a system up to the north and a couple of showers north of the state line. But for us, we are going to stay dry as that wind continues from the southwest. And when we push that out and kind of look at where that rainfall is expected to occur here, notice we are really dry even as we get into next week. That changes though a little bit as that front comes through, so we may see that rain chance return as early as, let's say, next Wednesday, Thursday. Those temperatures, they are expected to stay in these 90s and dropping back into the 80s once we get into next Wednesday and Thursday.
Thanks, Candace. Scott Lever is next with sports. The White Sox have settled on the general manager. We'll learn what the new boss brings to the table.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
Well, the White Sox aren't quite cleaning house. They're more like rearranging the furniture. They have filled their general manager post from within. Chris Getz gets the job. He spent the last 3 years as the White Sox assistant general manager. He's been with the organization since 2017, working first in minor league operations and player development. Getz is also a former major league player. Team owner Jerry Reinsdorf loves the guy, so he's the pick.
This is an opportunity that I do not take lightly, and there's a lot of work to do. I am not naive to the expectation that things need to change. To that I will say, the fans deserve different. I am different. We will be different.
White Sox and the Cubs are both off tonight. The Cubs will play 2 tomorrow in Cincinnati. Fighting Illini are ready to play some football. Their season opener will be under the lights Saturday, a 6:30 p.m. kickoff at Memorial Stadium against Toledo. It's the first ever matchup in football between these two schools. The Illini are looking to build off an 8-win season last year.
I think we got a hungry football team. I think we got a group of guys that really want to work. I think they understand the ability to be humble is a really good trait. Last year we were a 7-1 team that, finished the year 1-4, and there are a lot of different things that probably factored into that, but we got to keep the edge that we're in every game.
The NIU Huskies will be on the East Coast Saturday for a game with Boston College. That's an 11 a.m. kickoff. The Huskies welcome back quarterback Rocky Lombardi and big play receiver Trayvon Rudolph from injuries this season. Their 6'4" transfer Davis Patterson will start at the other receiver spot, and the Huskies have vastly upgraded their tight end position. I asked Coach Hammock how much more versatility the Huskies will have on offense this season.
We certainly have a lot more weapons, so we can become less predictable, and I think that's important, to create balance and versatility offensively. I think Rocky has a lot more weapons that he feels comfortable with and built chemistry with, and that allows us to use the whole field.
Former DuPac quarterback Hunter Hoffman has been named the starting quarterback for Central College. That's a D3 school in Pella, Iowa. Hoffman's a sophomore. Central College will open its season this weekend at St. Olaf College in Minnesota. And the Big Ten season kicks off tonight. Minnesota will host Nebraska. That'll be on Fox 39 at 7 o'clock. We'll be right back.
Our first WARN Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and more. Pretty quiet here across much of the country. The remnants of Idalia moving out over the Atlantic. Actually, a pretty active Atlantic here with several tropical systems. For us, we are going to stay pretty dry next several days. High pressure remains the rule here as we go straight through the weekend and into next week. Tonight, that temperature will drop down back into the low 50s. We got down to 50 degrees. However, many spots this morning got down into the 40s. 85 for tomorrow afternoon. A beautiful Friday. Heat does crank up a little bit for the weekend. Upper 80s near 90 on Saturday, mid 90s Sunday, Monday. That'll carry over into early next week. You'll notice humidity going up just a touch by early next week, and we could see a couple of showers by next Wednesday, Thursday.
Thanks, Candace, and thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.